BMC has a long legacy of working within the business service management space. And we originally introduced the concept of business service management, probably 12 years ago, something along those lines. Recognizing the need to be able to manage our enterprises based on the business services that we're delivering rather than on the discrete devices that are supporting those business services, BMC came up with this concept of building out a discovery tool that would allow us to not only capture all of the inventory for everything in our data center, or practically everything in our data center, and being able to take and leverage that information to then build out service models that allow us to leverage that information and look at that data from a business service-centric viewpoint, meaning that when I'm looking at making changes in my environment, I have that perspective of recognizing the upstream, downstream potential impacts of making a change, whether it's to a switch and all the devices that are connected to it, or whether it's patching servers or what have you, and understanding the business services that those servers are supporting and so on. So when we looked at how best to deliver the product, the first thing that we came up with was this concept of a virtual appliance. So the virtual appliance that we deliver is a pre-configured ADDM instance that's got the operating system configured, it's got the application configured, and it's got the data store predefined all within a virtual appliance. Now, when I say a virtual appliance, that means we're shipping you a VM that's pre-configured that you can import into your virtualized environment, or you can install directly onto hardware. But that virtual appliance is really, it's not considered a server per se, though it does run a server operating system. But what that allows us to do is get you up and running as quickly as possible. So fast time to value, right? Within a couple of hours, typically within a week or so, we've got a very robust view of the inventory within our data centers. It is 100% agentless discovery technology. So we're not installing agents that consume CPUs or will light up the CPU at a specific time of day or whatever that happens to be. The agentless technology allows us to be able to go out, connect to these devices, scan, run the inventories that we need, and we go way beyond inventory. When we start to look at the information that we're capturing, we're looking at running processes, we're looking at netstat tables and so on to be able to understand the communications, be able to automatically group machines together that we see communications taking place between. We provide an out-of-the-box pattern library that consists of nearly 780 different data center class applications. I keep using the term data center because really and truly this product is designed for discovery within the data center. When we're looking at those data center applications, they range everywhere from the SAPs, the WebSpheres, WebLogics, the business objects, all kinds of different data center class applications are predefined. And with those 780 different application definitions, we also have the ability to recognize as many as 39,000 potential configurations of those applications right out of the box, coming from the pattern library that's provided. It's probably the most the best pattern library out there. We recognize more software than just about any of our vendors. We have this concept of big discovery. Now, many of the people on the call today may be in small to medium-sized data centers. That's fine. We've got customers that have 1,000 servers. We have customers with 5,000 servers. We've got some customers out there with 70,000 servers that they're capturing data from every day because of regulatory requirements. Because of that need, we've got a very robust discovery engine. We have the ability to cluster ADDM devices together so that they act as a single device and allow us to scan thousands of devices very rapidly on a regularly scheduled basis, keeping those service models that we define up to date based on the rate of change that's taking place in your environment. the tool does have the ability to define custom software within the product. So if there's applications out there that have been written in-house, or maybe they're very verticalized and we don't have a recognition pattern for a particular type or a particular piece of software, we have the ability to define what to look for and how to recognize that particular application within the system. And that's a very easy process to do through some GUI-driven interface. Chances are we've already captured enough of the information about running processes, installed applications, and so on to be able to recognize those applications exist. We just don't recognize what they are. Within the product, we are also providing the ability to go in and do what we call data provenance. Data provenance provides you the ability to go back and look to see how we collected that data, what specific queries we made in order to define what databases were installed on a particular database server, what those tables look like, what the table sizes look like, what the EAR files look like that are pointing to a particular, or that are running on a particular application server and pointing to a particular database, things of that nature. All of that data provenance is exposed within the product, so you can trust the data that we're capturing. So again, going back to the original concept, the idea here is that what we want to do is not just provide you yet another source of inventory, but to be able to provide you the ability to take all of the various areas within your organization. A lot of organizations have numerous inventory sets, right? So the network guys, they've all got inventory about all the switches, all the routers, the configurations, the connections, and so on. The server guys, they know all about the servers and the configuration and the installed applications and so on. And the application teams know how the business services fit together for the different things. But a lot of times that data gets siloed. And what ADDM is designed to do is bring together all of that siloed data into a single place through the discovery engine built into ADDM, and then be able to represent the business services that are supported by all of that infrastructure, all of that software, and be able to quickly recognize, what a root cause of a failure might be, understanding where to start looking if you're starting to see a pattern develop in performance and things of that nature. Again, ADDM is not a monitoring tool. It's a discovery tool, and it's specifically designed to provide you that insight into what it is that supports your business. Within the product, we're providing analytic tools. We're providing, dashboards and charts and the ability to create your own charts, custom queries, and things of that nature within the product itself. So the product does have the ability to stand on its own, even though we do provide, as part of the license for the product, a limited copy of the BMC ADDM CMDB, which is, by Gartner's definition, the top CMDB in the industry. So when we look at being able to leverage the information, we're not bound to having to be able to export this data to some other use of the tool. We've got built-in analytics, but we also have the ability to provide that information through the Addm CMDB for other types of integration. As part of the product, we have the ability to provide what we call extended data packs. And what extended data packs do is they provide that information that can't be discovered about software end-of-life information, software end-of-support, things of that nature. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to be proactive in understanding what software is in our environment that's coming up for end-of-life, end-of-support, end-of-extended support, assess our risk of maintaining that software in our environment, or be able to rationalize looking at maybe consolidation to a single database platform, or at least down to a couple, right? And that's the extended data pack provides us that. The other thing that it provides is manufacturer specs on heat, power consumption, things of that nature, so that you can start to do some better data center planning when it comes to understanding the cooling requirements, understanding the power requirements in a particular rack, and things of that nature. And finally, this product is DoD federal ready. We do support the concept of STIGs, which is the DoD specification for minimum patch levels and so on, as well as the security protocols defined within the FIPS 140-2 environment. Having said all that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to sidestep a little bit and just kind of take you through a quick, brief tour of what this product kind of looks like from an out-of-the-box perspective, some of the screens that we have available, and again, talk about the theme of our discussion today is how to tame the discovery data that we're capturing, right? So when we look at the ADDM product, let me stop right here real quick and make sure everybody can see my current screen. What we're looking at on the screen here is the Addm console, the default console that comes up on the screen. Now, the way the product is designed, again, it's broken down into functional areas, and what we've done is we've created various dashboards. And these dashboards help us to zoom in on the particular kind of information that we're looking for within the product. That doesn't mean we can't go out and manually search through and build our own queries and so on. But a lot of the data that we're providing right out of the box is typically found predefined in one of these dashboards. My favorite dashboard when I log in is typically to land on the baseline dashboard, because that baseline dashboard kind of gives me a quick overview of that IT environment that I'm managing, right? So the number of hosts in my environment, the number of clusters that we're running, network devices, the various different storage and load balancers, the software components that are supporting my business. Now, I'm going to qualify very quickly here that we consider packages different than we consider what we call a software instance. A software instance is typically one of those 780 defined applications that we are looking for and interrogating and providing detailed information about for the purposes of mapping those business applications. When we talk about a package, that's the standard thing that you get from inventory. Here's every executable we found on this machine. Well, we really don't care about a lot of those executables. We don't care about Internet Explorer. We don't care about, some of the other, OS-based packages. However, we do capture that as part of the inventory process. So again, it's fully searchable and capable. When we're looking at software instances, again, those are the things that are helping drive the business. We also, on the baseline dashboard, we've put together this concept of automatic grouping. If you recall, when I was talking about the inventory process, one of the things that we do is we go out and we look at the netstat tables and we start to look at the various different intercommunications between groups and machines. So what we have the ability to do is we can see the communication that's taking place between those devices by leveraging that information that comes back from netstat. But instead of using a probe on a Cisco span port or something of that nature that basically dissects the packets and can tell you that there's a database server over here and that there's some device communicating with it, that's really not enough information to be able to accurately map a business service application to have the resiliency to recognize that, this database just moved from server A to server B without you having to go in and redefine what that business service application is. Within ADDM, we are trying to map it at a lower level. We're trying to map the actual application server process with the actual database itself that's running on a database server. And if that database happens to move, we automatically update that pattern. But again, the automatic grouping gives us those seeds, basically, to start our process of looking at what's out there, what's connected. So I can go in and I can look at the various different machines. I probably don't care about any of these host machines, but if I just quickly go in and do a look across these three machines here, and I want to go out and kind of see what it is that these machines are doing together, out of the box, BMC is going to recognize applications like the Exchange environment in your organization.